Yemi Omotunde. He's an agronomist by training, a math whiz, and a serial entrepreneur. He is the director of Ron Barnage's company, a company he founded in 2010, operating in partnership with Nine Mobile, delivering telecommunication solutions. He's also the principal consultant at Mel Mellis Farm Resource, an agricultural company delivering key solutions in farm establishment, farm management, system development and deployment, and other agriculture-related investments since 2004. He has consulted for individuals, private companies, multinationals, and universities. He is the promoter of an agric investment initiative, Retire to Cashew. The project is expected to cover over 30,000 hectares in different locations. Both companies operate in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Finance through the UWIN initiative. His company, Ron Barnage's company, won an award of excellence and distinction by the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trades and Investments, SIDAN, and Friends Africa in 2014. He is the president of Akobo Ibadan Fruitful Vine Farmers Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited, an organization focused on important grassroots farmers by training and exposing them to better methods and opportunities, stringing other people together. He serves as an executive of the Driving School Association of Nigeria, Oyo State Chapter. He is a business coach and mentor to many. He served as volunteer facilitator for Leap Africa on youth development for 3 consecutive years. He speaks at different conferences and seminars where he teaches principles on business growth, negotiation, budgeting, and finance. He is happily married to Mosumola, and they are blessed with 2 adorable daughters, Ebunoluwa Juwuralo and Oluwa Sheumbabara Layemi. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ron Yemi Omotunde to the Master Classic Series.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. See the way Harvest House packaged farmer. Wow. Praise the Lord. Please, before you take your seat, I'd like you to honor my pastors this evening. Please, can you celebrate? You know, I think it was 2 years ago, I was reading through the book of Samuel, and it just dawned on me that that Samuel was not raised by a prophet. Eli was a priest. Samuel was a prophet. And that day, it dawned on me that a pastor can raise a businessman. You know, so I'm proud to say that Reverend is my business coach. You know, I'm proud to say it. And this is a very emotional moment for me because, you know, we've come a long way. Praise the Lord. Please, you may have your seat. My time is short. I'm just grateful to God for this evening. Now, my assignment this evening is very simple or slightly complicated because the time I have is grossly inadequate to treat the subject, but we're going to run through it. And then as the session is going on, if you have questions, because we're going to have a panel session shortly afterwards, if you have questions, you can just please write it down. You can pass it to the ushers. When we have the panel sessions, we'll be able to take the questions. I'll be joined by people who have actually, you know, walked the walk, people that we need to glean from their wealth of experience, people who have a story to tell. So this evening, I believe that your life will never remain the same. Can we please bow our heads for what? You know, I went to an event to speak, you know, and I said, since we're not fighting God, I think it's in order to pray. But this is church. You know, I believe it's in order to have a word of prayer. Precious Father, we ask that this evening you will speak to one, you will speak to all. Let your mind be made known. Let wisdom distill upon us. Let everyone return with a what to do that will make a difference in their life, in their home, and in their business. Thank you, precious Father. In Jesus' matchless name, we have prayed. Now, the theme is how to start and grow your business. So I want to break it down, to those simple sections: how to start your business and how to grow your business. Before I go into the heart of the matter, I would like to just mention a few things that I believe Nigerians typically don't put into consideration when they want to go into a business. And I would like to, maybe demystify a few of those things, and then we'll talk about a few things. Now, I believe that if you're serious about being a businessman, you should understand that you are doing business with people and not with things. You can be selling things, you can be selling commodities, you can be manufacturing things, but at the end of the day, people will consume what you're producing. So if you are going to start a business, you have to start with people. Now, if you are starting with people, you have to understand the population of the city or the country or the world. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? If you're going to deal with people, so let me give you an example. Many of us do business in Ibadan. The first question is, how many people live in Ibadan? So, in Ibadan, we have about 3.6 million people at the moment. When Oyo State and Osun State were still one, the whole of Oyo and Osun State was 5 million. When Osun State went and we had Oyo State, the whole of Oyo State was 3 million, and the whole of Osun State was 2 million. Now, what was the whole of Oyo State is less than what is Ibadan as we speak. Are you following what I'm saying? So in Ibadan, we have about 3.6 million people. Now, what is the land mass of Ibadan? Many of us don't even know. The land mass of Ibadan is roughly about 3,080 thereabout kilometers square. Now, I've always asked questions. Why is it that businesses, some kind of businesses, succeed in Lagos and fail in Ibadan? Are you with me this evening? Some kind of businesses succeed in Ibadan and they don't succeed in Lagos. Now, the totality of Lagos State, the land mass is 3,500 and maybe 558 square kilometers, which means that the whole of Lagos State is just a little bit bigger than the whole of Oyo State. Now, the population of Lagos State, arguably, is about 21 million people. The population of Ibadan, which is almost the same size of Lagos State, I'm not talking about Lagos City. Lagos City, Eko, is 1,171 square kilometers. It's smaller than Ibadan. Now, the total population of Lagos is about 21 million. The total population of Ibadan is 3.6 million. So that tells me that for every one person that is a potential customer for an Ibadan person, a Lagosian has 8 people, potentially. So if you want to open an eatery, because a friend of yours retired and collected his retirement benefit and opened an eatery in Lagos, and he puts a 75 million naira eatery in one location in Lagos, he's going to have 8 times minimum more patronage than you can ever have in Ibadan. Remember that those people, because they are also interacting with more people, have a higher cash flow than the people. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I tell people, for instance, if you're going to open a business like that, you need to break up in Ibadan. Don't put 50 million in one location because your customers are scattered all over town. Break the money into 15 million, set up smaller units in 10 or 15. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That way, you'll be able to reach the people. Let's use Foodco as a model. I will not drive 30 or 40 minutes to ShopRite to buy anything when Foodco is here. So the wisdom of Foodco is to put one here, put one in Idiakwe, put one in Bodija, put one here, so that they capture immediate environment. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no sense in trying to reach somebody in Port Harcourt when you have not sold to your next door neighbor. Now you see, there is a folly of trying to do international business. You know, you're selling fragrance oil. Let me use myself as an example so nobody will feel insulted. So I sell honey. The total volume of honey I produce in a year is less than 1,000 liters. Much less than 1,000. So there was a time I wanted to go on social media to advertise my honey so that people from Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and then I asked myself, 1,000 liters of honey is just about 1,000 bottles. 1,000 bottles will disappear between Idiakwe and Akobo if I have correct business sense. So I don't need social media adverts to sell that product. What I need is to create territorial influence such that in that territory, if you mention honey, I'll be the only one that do. Do you understand? So Foodco is not selling with social media. Foodco is having territorial dominance. And territorial dominance is as important as wave dominance. And I'm going to get into that so that you can understand that you are not capturing the wave at the moment. You will get there eventually, but doesn't mean that your business is inferior. It depends on the model of business that you're trying to run. So I've tried to demystify that. Now let me go to another thing. We talk about do what you are passionate about. I'm supposed to end with this, but I like to start with it, and then I'll go to other things. Now, passion is worthless if what you are passionate about does not have a market. So you ask young people, you come out of school and they say, tailoring is my passion. Tailoring cannot be your passion. You don't understand your passion. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Makeup cannot be your passion. Anywhere I talk, I attack makeup artists. Makeup cannot be your passion. That's a trend. Exposure determines options. Options affects choices. Let me give you a very practical example. Quick. Next governor of Oyo State will be determined by those of us that are here now. Let's assume. It's an assumption. I give you options. Who do you want to be the governor of Oyo State? Next governor. Akala, Ajimobi, Seyi Makinde. Give me an answer. 3 options. Right? Okay, let's flip it. 4 options. Akala, Seyi Makinde, Ajimobi, Reverend Aboda. Why your choice changed the moment the options increased? Wait. I'm going somewhere. The reason why your choice changed was because you had more options. What gives you more options is exposure. So, for instance, a child in a primary school that has never heard of aeronautic engineering, has never heard of space science, can never have a passion to become a space scientist. Why? Because he's not exposed to it. It's not within the boundaries of his options. So it can't be a part of his choices. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So what I'm saying is that when you say makeup artistry is your passion, it is because of what you are exposed to. Limited exposure has determined what you call your passion. So that is not your passion. It cannot be your passion. Because the moment that trend fades and every woman can paint their face, what happens to your passion? It means God created you to leave you hanging. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It can't be your passion. So your passion must meet with a need. So let me explain it this way. So agriculture is my passion, but people don't need food. I can't have a business. So there is a loop, and we're going to get to that when I finish. There has to be, your passion has to have an intersection with people, and it has to have, let me look at it, the way I drew it here. Okay, so you have a problem. There must be a problem that you're solving. There has to be people that you're solving the problem for, and you have to be passionate about that thing. It is the meeting point of those 3 factors that starts a business. All right, so now let me go back and behave myself. Pastor D, I'm a farmer, so I don't use slides. I just talk. Okay, so if you want to start a business, you start with people. You have to understand the demographics. So I said the population of Oyo State is 3.6. Now, the next thing you have to find out is how do we categorize these 3.6 million people? How many women? How many men? How many people are within the working class? Because you see, if the higher percentage of these people are in their 70s, the best business to do is funeral business. You don't have to be passionate about it. You just have to be reasonable. Because many of them must start dying. They must die. So you sell cow, you sell coffin, you have a morgue. Look, I'm being practical. There was a day I was talking with a friend. There was a day I was talking to a friend of mine, Detola, and then we were talking, and he was talking about the baby boom generation, that when that generation started getting married, the prices of real estate went up. When they started having children, the prices of schools went up because there were many children, and all that. As that generation moved, and I said, what age are those people now? He said they're in their 60s. I said, do you think is the next business? Cemetery and coffin. Cemetery? No, that's the next thing. They'll start dying. They need a morgue. They need a vault. Do you understand? This is being proactive. You are looking at where the business... So you need to know the demographics of this city that you're operating in. How many people fall within this class? How many children? An average person retires. What do you want to do? Poultry, pure water. Shallow thinking businesses. No research. Okay, so you need to know the people. You need to know the age range. So let me give you this very quickly. So look at Nigeria now. The youth, 0 to 14. Total age group population, 0 to 14, we have about 89 million. 15 to 64, we have 110 million. 15 to 64. Elderly, 64 plus, we have 5 million plus. You see, so that's not a viable business, really. In the whole of Nigeria, 5 million. Okay? And then you look at the dependency ratio and all that. So you need to understand this, so it will influence the kind of business that you do and how your business evolves. So you start a business with understanding the people. Now, let me move quickly from there. Now, you understand the people? Number 2 is that you focus on a problem. Christians don't like the word problem, but the totality of the money you will make will come from the word problem. Are you with me? Problem is a good thing. Because the problem you solve and how quickly you solve it will determine what you make. So let me give you an example. Somebody wants to have an event. The person cannot coordinate an event. The person has a problem, has logistics problem. So you come in and you solve logistic problems and you get paid proportionate to the person's value for solving that problem. Let me give you an example. So I was in my house the other day and I was doing minor renovations. Okay, so the guys left debris all over the place. And I came out after my kids went to school and I was thinking, okay, let me just pack these things. As I started, I stopped and I looked at it. I said, if I bring a laborer to pack these things, how much will they cost? 1,800. Labor. Assistant bricklayer. Abi? If we use a whole day to pack it, what is the worth of my whole day? If I spend the whole day reading, what I will read in a whole day would deliver to me more than 1,800. So it's better for me to trade that time, give him the money, and trade the time for something. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So the quality of problem you're solving for somebody. So for instance, now, if you go to somebody who is very busy and he solves a problem for you, he'll be willing to pay based on the value that he has on what you're doing for him. So problem is a good thing. Focus on the problem. Now, the problem that you're focusing on, that you're identifying, has to be a real problem. Now, there are different types of problems. There are perceived problems. There are emotional problems. Using a perfume of 100,000 is not a substantial problem. It's an ego problem. You don't need to use a perfume of 100,000 to survive. But some people feel that if you're not wearing that kind of perfume, that they're not complete. Do you understand? So you leverage on these emotional problems. Are you following what I'm trying to say? Do you know that it's easier to sell fake things to people who buy expensive things? It's just unfortunate. You buy a shoe of 500,000. You can't buy a shoe of 500,000 and be wearing it like a university student. They wear it every day for 1 year. So the guy who wears a shoe every day for 1 year buys a 7,000 naira shoe. The shoe must be good. But the guy who buys a shoe 500,000 wears it once in 3 years. When he gets back at the end of the 3rd year and the thing is looking somehow, say, I didn't wear this shoe for long. It must have mildewed in the wardrobe. The shoe na fake. But they wrote VL on it. The guy thinks I didn't say you should sell fake things, but I'm just saying that, so there are perceived problems. All right. So what is the problem that your business is trying to solve? If your business is not solving a real business problem, that business can never last. The continuity of a business lies in the quality of problem that is solving and how effectively you're solving that problem. So identify a problem. Is it access to information? Is it access to materials? Ease of purchase of something? How many people have laundress here? You know the way laundress behave now? You give him the clothes on Friday, it's to deliver on Monday. 2 Mondays after, he has not delivered it. He delivers it, one side is burnt. Do you understand? People don't pay for energy expended. People pay for satisfaction. I'm going to get to it. Okay, so identify a real problem. Now, after you've identified the problem, do your research. Nigerians are poor researchers. Do your research. The first question is, how many people are within my reach that I can solve this problem for? How many people? Now, that is where internet now comes in. So if the problem is a valid problem, but the number of people that you can solve it for within an immediate space is not the quantity, the number is not enough, then you can begin to consider leveraging on other avenues to reach people wherever they are. Now, so how many people can you solve the problem for? Can you reach? Second is, what is the method that you're going to use? Now, I like this method of reach: conduction, convection, and radiation principle. Now, that is where contact is necessary, isn't it? For you to have conduction, there has to be contact. It's one-on-one. You deal with somebody one-on-one. That can be your business model. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Jumia does not deal with people one-on-one. It deals with people via internet. They're making money. Foodco deals with people in the community one-on-one. Have they sold anything to you via internet? No. And they're making their profit. So it depends on your business model. Convection is movement of mass. Okay? That looks to me like MLM. Not MMM. MLM, multi-level marketing. Where somebody contact somebody, the thing is moving down people. Do you understand? It's moving through people. Radiation is like media, social media. You just throw the stuff, no contact, the thing just flies, and people patronize you from Canada, patronize you. But if you don't have a product that a Canadian can buy, spending money to reach a Canadian is a waste of time. Praise the Lord. Then, how often will people need your product? Can I get water? How often will people need your product? There's something called the toothbrush rule or principle. If you are trying to do something, the first question you should ask is, how often will this product be needed? Now, because if the product will not be needed often, then it means you need a lot of people. If a product will be needed regularly, for instance, you're going to use something morning and evening every day. It means you're going to use it at least 700 times in a year. So if it is a disposable item, if you have 10 customers using it 700 times, you have sold 7,000 pieces of that item to just 10 customers. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But if one person will use it once in a year, then you need 7,000 people to achieve the same volume of sale. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So that determines the model that you are going to use. So spot a problem, research the problem. It is during this research itself that you are going to know if this business is worth it or it is not worth it. What is a feasibility study? A feasibility study is a study that shows whether the business is feasible. So a feasibility study is not a study that tells you that you must do the business. You can complete a feasibility study and conclude that this business is not feasible. So when people say, I want to write a feasibility study to submit to a bank, you don't submit feasibility study to a bank. You would have done the feasibility. You know whether it is feasible. You are now submitting a proposal. Do you get what I'm trying to say? All right. So after you understand the people, you have done your, you know the problem that the people have, then you now build a product for the people. Let me give you startling. How many of us know Google? If you don't know Google, Google it. Google has 2 trillion searches every year. 2 trillion. They have 228 million searches per day. They have 3.8 million searches per minute. They have 71,780 searches per second. If you don't believe it, Google it. You add to the number of the search. Listen to this. Google makes $121 million per day from ads. $121 million per day from adverts. Now, these guys created a product. What is the product? A platform that gives people access to information. So what was the problem? Limit on availability of information was the problem. It was limiting people's productivity. So they created a platform that gave people an opportunity to have access to information. It's as simple as that. So you look at a people group and then you create a product. Now, your product, depending on what you're doing, can be something that you buy. You go to where they sell cow, 70,000. You sell it where they sell it, 150,000. You get a product and then you sell. It's trading. Dangote did not create Google. Dangote started as a trader. Buy and sell. Buy and sell. Then he had enough money. He built refineries, built factories to produce what he was buying. So he was now producing and selling. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Today, he is the richest African. For now. Because we are coming, like play. We are coming. So, you now have a product. So you either buy the product, you get the product, or you develop a product. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the only way you can now have sustainable profit. You move into profit. So this is how you start your business, in summary. How do you grow your business? I like this part. You cannot grow a business without a strategy. Have you seen Nigerians before? You collect your pension and your gratuity, and then you go to Fuman, you buy juice, you go to Coke, you buy something, you open a shop, and you sit down at the shop Monday morning, waiting for people to come. The question is, you think visibility is the only strategy? No, visibility is a strategy. but is at the mercy of other people's discretion. Hey, that English is big enough for you to say, You know, when a farmer speaks big English, at least encourage me. Okay? So visibility is not... So look, go to Bashono Market. You see like 20 shops. Everybody selling same thing. So if I am driving, I will stop based on discretion. If there's a stone in front of your shop, I will pass your shop and go to the next one. I don't have to stop there. So I ask people, so what's your strategy? You can't just open shop. You know, I had people that were working with me, and those days, they believe that when you show up at work for 24 days in a month or 20 days in a month, that at the end of the month, you must be paid. So one day I called them. I said, I don't pay you for showing up. I pay you for performance. What have you done for me in 24 days, in 20 days? What have you done? So you must have a strategy. Now, let me just be very practical here. I started out in life wanting to do what I'm doing. I wanted to be a farmer. It wasn't popular, so I'm not doing it because it's trendy. You know, if I've been doing something for like 20 years, you know that it wasn't trendy 20 years ago. But my father studied agric economics from Great Ife. I tried to go to Great Ife. I did not grade the Ife. So I came out of Lautech and I studied agric. And my father always asked me and told me agric is capital intensive. I spent 35 years in Ministry of Agric, retired as permanent secretary. Agriculture is capital intensive. How will you do it? And I told him one simple strategy. I told him, so he said, so where will you get capital to start your farm? I said, so this is what I'm going to do. I will make sure I'm good at it. I will do it for other people. Once I do it for them, whatever they pay me, I will use it to set up my own. Ladies and gentlemen, this is almost maybe 17 years or so, and that is still the strategy. I consult, you pay me, I invest it in my own farm. Today, my farm is about the size of the people I consult for. I went to somebody's farm the other day. I was working on the farm with the farm workers. You know, so one boy was running his mouth, one of the laborers that came from around the community. I looked at him and I shook my head. You know why? Because I came to work on that person's farm. I look like the laborer, part of the laborers. But my farm is bigger than that farm, my own farm. But I don't despise it because, you see, you don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg. The way I got the money to buy that farm is by, do you get? So there was a strategy from the onset. This is the strategy. So if I ask you, you are doing a business, what is your business strategy? How do you intend to grow this business? Most people are just doing it. And you know, there's an adage that says, to walk in the street of by and by is to arrive at the house of never. To walk in the street of by and by is to arrive at the house of never. You must have a strategy. There must be a strategy. And of course, as you progress and advance, you must always review that strategy. I'm sorry I cannot be more explicit than that, but that was my own strategy at my level. So look at what you're doing and ask yourself, how will I grow this thing from this level to the next level? Now, to grow your business, you need structure. Look at this ant. An ant is able to, you see, there was a day I sat down on my farm. I've told this story here before. And I was observing, I just sat down, I was looking at this ant. And the guy was trying to carry a broomstick that was about maybe like 4 times or 5 times its size. He could actually carry something 8 times its size and its weight. You know, so I was looking at it and I was wondering, how is it that every ant, without going to the gym, I've never seen any ant gymming, but any ant can carry something 8 times its size. Google it. Add to their statistics. So I sat down and I kept looking. Because if you think, you will understand. If you meditate, you will. So I kept looking. And I came to a conclusion. The only reason why every ant can do that is because of their body structure. The proportion of the head to the thorax, to the abdomen, to the limbs. So it is structure that determines what you're able to do. Without structure, performance is limited. Let me say that again. Without structure, performance is limited. So you want to grow your business? Structure. You can start by being the driver, the mechanic, the engineer, the MD. You want to put on generator, you are working on your system. As light goes off, you run off, you put on the gen, you come back, you become MD. You know, I've not met you before at the door. You are the receptionist. Hello, good morning. You're looking for a guy. Just a minute, he'll soon be with you. You go inside, you come out, you say, good morning. It's good to have you here. You know? A pastor said that, you know, that when he started his church, I'm sure that was Fabu, but he said when he started the church, when he wants to lay hands, he will lay hands and go and catch the person at the back. So he was pastor and usher. You know? But you can't grow a church like that. You can't grow a business like that. So you must have structure. And let me just end with this because of our time, and then we'll go to panel session. So if you have any questions, just write it out. You cannot grow a business without customer satisfaction. This is where Nigerians have issues. It's anxiety that is making me drink water. It's not effect. A guy came to my house to relocate my water tanks. So I told the guy, the plumber, this is a house that people are living in. You know, it's a different thing if you're working on a site. You can break the pipes, leave it for 3 days, come back and fix it. Nobody's using water. So I told the guy, I said the transition has to be smooth. We must not feel that you are doing anything. It is on that bit. That is what will give me satisfaction. The guy nodded, yes. The following morning, his apprentices came and cut. They just took saw blade and cut the water and everything came out. So I came out and said, what exactly are you doing? When I said, I looked at him and I said, Ladies and gentlemen, it is the love of God that constrains us. Because sincerely, there are some people, if you follow me to farm, there are some people that you will want to remove, you will want to slap him. So I looked at the guy and said, call your boss. So where will we get water tomorrow? Ladies and gentlemen, it's 2 weeks and we are still using Ifami to fetch water. Can I ever recommend him? No. Let me shock you. This guy on his DP on WhatsApp is a music evangelist. His ministry is AGM. So I told him to come and see me. I want to sit him down. I hope he will listen. And I will tell him, it's not a cost. You can never prosper like this. I can never refer you. Okay, so imagine Pastor Dela has an issue at the crash. She said, Pastor, Shady plumber. I will not send that one to God has forbidden. I would rather be the plumber than send that kind of person. So the guy finished what he did, what he said he has done, sent me a bill. So what am I paying for? Job that has not been done. There's no water. So what am I paying you for? The water was running before you came. So this is where I'm going. You make clothes for people. Listen to this. When you satisfy your customers, you naturally become the subject of conversations. Positively. Let me give you an example. I walk up to Minister Topa and say, I like your shoe. I like your dress. Every time you appear, you are looking sharp. You need to meet my tailor. Guy sews well, he delivers on time. You were not there, but he has spoken about you. If I have a goofing beans cooking tailor, immediately I will say, Minister Topa, please, let me just give me the guy's number. I'll chat him up. Referral without advert. But there is no customer satisfaction. So you are telling, Auntie, and your akara, we don't know if it is we don't even know what it is. Nobody can. Do you get what? There's no customer satisfaction. The unfortunate thing is that they tell you are still arguing. I have an electrician, Muslim young guy. No, I've talked about him before. Maybe 32 or something years old. He's built his house. If the guy trunks a cable for you, you will think he used, what's that thing that they use? Plumb. One day he did something, one of his boys did something, he came in, I didn't even complain. He came in, he told the boy, remove everything. He said, and you will say you are ready for freedom. He said you are a worthless, as in, I was not here. The guy removed everything, he realigned it. I looked at the guy, I said, Muslim, God bless you. Another guy came to fix tiles for me. Tiles. Etimo story, eh? Wait, not the one that the thing did not match. That's not another one. Only God knows where I find these people. You see this one? Wait, you have not heard story. This one, he started work like 9 in the morning. He sang loud gospel song from 9 till 8. I'm not lying. If you see Barrister Victor's younger brother, he was the one that stayed with him at home. When he finished the job, half of the tiles were not stuck. They were rubber tiles. They were not stuck. I called him. Uragom, 2 jars. How come? He said, be working on it. It will glue. Wait. It's not Night of 1,000 Laughs. Wait. So, shortly afterwards, we did a repair of upper extension. But I saw that as that one was gluing it, the thing was gluing. But my own guy said I should be ramming it. So 2 or 3 days after, he will now send broadcast message. The Lord is your portion. He sent it like 3 times. I replied him, don't send me any message in your life. Don't. You wasted my money, wasted my time. You are not telling me the Lord is my portion. I didn't know the Lord is my portion before. You know, you people are laughing. It's not your money. It's my money. Otidabe, no. Straight. Minister Tobe, wo. Straight, no. At least could deflect you. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. If any customer gives you negative feedback, that person should be your best customer. The only reason he gave you that feedback is because he loves you. Can I say this? One day, I won't say it. I won't say it because but you cook for somebody. They tell you that, you're there for DML. It's a little salty. And they, no. I serve 15 people. You are the only one complaining. You are stupid. Listen, and ask, okay, how would you prefer it? Let me quickly say this to you. There's a difference between people are not smart. So there was an issue in an organization, and I told their head in that organization, who happens to be my elder sister, I said, you see, you can be solving a problem, but you may not appear to people that you're solving the problem. So you won't be labeled a good leader. So there's a problem, you're trying to solve the problem, but people don't know you are doing anything. But the opposite too is possible. There's a problem, you are not solving the problem, but you are acting like you're solving the problem. Eventually they will find out that all that was bobo. I said what a good leader will do is that as you are solving the problem in a way that they cannot see, you will be doing things that will make them know that you're trying to solve the problem. So somebody gives a complaint. What you do is that you take it, you note it. The next time you serve the person, you ask, is it the way you like it? Is there anything else I can do? And yet people tell you, look, at my age, I won't know if salt is too much at my age. So if I tell you salt is too much, salt is too much. If I tell you meat is hard, meat is hard. At my age, you know how many pieces of meat I've eaten? No, sincerely. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, if you want to grow your business, you need strategy, you need structure, you need customer satisfaction. If you have strategy, you have structure, you don't satisfy your customers, you will kill the business yourself. So people are struggling right now. You know, you have a child in the school, a child complains to the mom, they come back to you, tell them, no, that's how we beat them in this school. Be beating them. Keep beating them. Praise the Lord. Note as finished. Clap so that I can leave. One of the things you need to note, so let me just give you bullet points, that people pay for speed and people pay for convenience. Okay? People pay for speed, people pay for convenience. How easily can they get it from you and how fast can they get it for you? If you are doing business because you want to escape poverty, your business will not last. Because the moment you are no longer poor, you have no reason to be in business. Should you understand? It's hunger that drove you. So you were selling boxers, you were selling singlets, you were selling everything. Okay, before I even say that, let me conclude with this. When you start a business, it's not every business that you want to start that you have to go and register. You know, Nigerians are very funny. They've not tested the business, no research, nothing. You go to the Corporate Affairs Commission, Igbala Dogi and Sons Nigeria Limited. Forwarding, exporting, clearing. No. You can start a business, run the business, test the business in an informal setting. No tax, no bank account. Once you see that the business has viability, then you can now proceed to add legality to it. So many of us, do you know how many companies are registered with CAC that does not exist? Or not that, whatever grammar is correct. So, if you are doing business because you want to escape poverty, that business will not last. Find a need that you are passionate about in people's lives. So you see the link. A need that exists, that unlocks your passion, and people are involved. And empty yourself. So no matter how rich you become, you still want to meet the need. Because, look, why will a pastor of a 10,000 church still be praying that his church should grow? If it is money he wants, he has protocol, he has PA, he has police assistants, he has angelic assistants, he has demonic assistants, he has every kind of assistants. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So why is he still praying? If the man came into ministry because of comfort, at that point he shouldn't pray anymore. What's he praying for anymore? But there is something that he's seeing that no matter how much he has, why should Bishop Oyedepo be praying for church growth? They want to kill him? For what? But there's something he's seeing. There's a need that unlocks his passion. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That is the way you grow a lasting business. If your business is just to escape hunger, the moment you are no longer hungry, the drive for that business will die. Your drive will not die in Jesus' name. Okay, so I want to invite the panelists to join me. I would like us, if you have questions, please write it. We have just 25, 30 minutes to take the questions. And I still need the water. Thank you. Please, as they come up, I want you to please appreciate them. Appreciate them. Please, can we appreciate Engineer Bello? Please come. Please, everybody's coming up, but, please, let's appreciate him, please. Thank you, sir. Can we appreciate Mrs. Aderogba, please? Can you come? Thank you. Please, let's appreciate her as she comes. Chuck Boy. Jari Falabulu, let's appreciate him. So how do I introduce you? Okay, French, Patayon, the sower of life. Let's appreciate her as she comes. Thank you. Okay. So, let me give us a minute. Introduce yourself. Let people know what you do, in just a minute, and then let's have our questions, and then we'll do that. I'll start with you, sir.
I am not an engineer. My name is Mr. Femi Bello.
Engineer.
I build houses. That's why he probably called me an engineer. I build houses. That's what I do.
So it's the engineer, not here. In Nigeria, a mechanic, engineer. Rewire, engineer. Bricklayer, engineer. So, engineer. Not at that level, anyway, that's just a joke. Okay, man.
I'm Mrs. Aderogba Comfort Fumilola. I'm a teacher and a school owner.
My name is Oluwajari Folabolumole. I am a chocolatier. I make chocolates.
Sorry, what did you call it?
I'm a chocolatier.
Does it exist or did you coin it?
No, it exists.
Chocolatier.
Yeah.
So what am I?
Pharmacia.
That's right. Teacher tier. Builder tier. Pastor tier. Sower tier. Introduce yourself.
My name is Mopentolu Okpatayo. I'm a fashion entrepreneur.
Sorry, come again?
I'm a fashion entrepreneur.
She's a fashion entrepreneur. Okay. I have a few questions here for our panelists, and then you can please turn in your questions as well. The first question here is the question that we get all the time. So, engineer, you will help us with this question. How do I get the startup capital that I need for my business? How do I raise capital for my business?
Well, I believe you've answered that question. And the problem with most entrepreneurs is the fact that they always think about capital to be the first thing they need. It's not about capital. You need to develop a product. And there needs to be acceptability. More often than not, you find out that capital will find its way towards you without you needing to search for it. So it's not about you focusing on capital for starters. Once you have a product and it's marketable, capital will find its way towards you.
So when we have a product that is attractive enough, in fact, sometimes you even get investors attracted to that investment. Fantastic. Okay, this question is for you, ma'am. I seem to be unable to get staff that have passion for what I am doing. So you have a business outfit, you employ people. They come there just because they want to collect salary. They don't have passion for the job. And they're not even willing to learn or to stay. How do I solve this high staff turnover problem?
Okay, the problem has started from the time he hired, or she hired people that don't have the skill. You, as a business person, you must be an HR. You must develop yourself to be HR. And how do I mean? You must have a core value for your business. You must have the aim of having the business. So all these things will come together. You gather all these things together to know who
that you will use
employ.
to employ.
That will make you to ask questions before you employ the employee that you want to have. So if you are now making mistakes, or if you make mistakes to employ the wrong ones, then you must make sure you bring yourself down to convince that person to attain the training and skill he needs to have.
So employment is not a function that because he needs the job.
Exactly.
And me too, I'm looking for a staff.
Employment, before you can employ, you have to look for somebody who can do the job. But if you make a mistake of not employing the right person, then it's either you lay that person off or you bring the person up to the level that can manage your business for you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, I have another question here. Brother Jerry, I think you can help us. Marketing issues. I have a business, but I don't know how to market my product.
I think, first of all, you've said a lot. And the first challenge is people don't understand their customers. They don't know who really needs their product. People just employ all tools of marketing without exactly knowing who needs it. And as much as social media seems to be the in thing, the truth is communication on brands, on social media, in real statistics terms, it's just 7% of conversations that go online around brands and products. So people jump on the social media bandwagon thinking that, it is for everybody. But there's a lot about demography that people need to understand. So if that understanding is lacking, you'll find marketing difficult. Then secondly, the most important and cheapest and freest tool that people neglect is word of mouth. And when you are not using word of mouth sufficiently, you cannot market your product. And of course, that brings us back to your point on customer satisfaction. Once you have not been able to satisfy the first customer, he's not likely going to recommend you. And if people understand that one person influences 10 people, they are more likely to focus on satisfying that one person and maybe multiply it to 100, then maybe to 1,000, then you can sell your products with that channel.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Mr. Feinty, I'm interested in starting a business, but the industry seems saturated, okay, and there are big players in that industry, already existing in that industry, and that is the business I want to start. How can I go about it?
Well, I'm not sure there's any industry that is saturated. We're about 200 million, according to World Bank statistics, and I believe we are more than that. So, are we trying to say that the market on ground is more than enough to service the 200 million? That's where we all get it wrong, you know. When I went for a fashion design discussion, and you're like, oh, there are too many tailors, there are too many fashion designers. Yes, there are a lot, but the truth of the matter is that as many as we are, have we satisfied that audience? So it's about doing our research. The weaknesses a lot of businesses have is that we do everything.
Yeah.
So if you want to do something and then you create a niche for yourself in that particular industry, then you know that, okay, this is only what I'm doing. I have a friend that all he does is boxers.
Fantastic.
And this guy has gone viral.
Fantastic. So it is niche, understanding your niche.
Create a niche for yourself.
You know, I told some people, when people want to go into agric, they say that, I want to go into agric. And what they just think of is, I want to plant cassava. You know that? I want to plant. So I told one guy, I said, do you know that land clearing, land preparation is an aspect of agriculture that everybody avoids because it's difficult. So as somebody who wants to go into agriculture, you can just specialize in land preparation. That's all you do. You come there, you remove the forest, you do the tilling, and then you're done with your job. And somebody else takes it from that level. You know, once you do that, you're doing what everybody is avoiding. Automatically, your own patronage will go up. So create a niche. Understand a niche. That's fantastic. Okay, there's this. So anybody can pick this question if you think you can, you know. Let me take this one first. It says, please, how do I how can I increase my sales when I have about 100 people registered for my training and only about 10 to 15 on the average actually paid to take this? So the person has people maybe advertised via social media or something, 100 people registered, interest, but when it came to commitment and real participation, had about 15%. So how can I increase sales?
Well, says, as you said the other time, that if you want your business to be sold, you have to expand the places where you register your business. You have at Akobo, you have at Idiakwaya. So you have to, give rent to places where the
higher traffic,
product is going to be displayed. You cannot be in Akobo and still expect people at Ring Road to have it. So you have annex. Annex offices, we have to do the selling. Not only that, the people you are going to employ must be trained. Make sure you employ the indigent of that environment that you just opened. The indigent will make sure that he tells everybody around about the product. He will know the nature of the people around. You know the people that will need the product. He will know how to relate with them. He will know how to, display the product. So, annex is very, very important.
Okay.
I believe Rev answered this question some few weeks back. Number one, Coca-Cola has never held a training about how to make Coke. Have you ever heard them do that? They actually go ahead and make the Coke and make the money. If you are training me about how to make money, it tells me that even you have a problem. That's the truth. Because why are you teaching me how to make money? If you can do that same thing and make so much money for yourself.
That's the person doing the training.
The person doing the training. So a lot of people don't fall for these gimmicks again. If you're so good at it, the best way, look at what he said. The best way to do it is the fact that you sell your services to one or two people, then you actually practicalize it. And when people see your success, they actually will come for your training.
Wow. Wow. Please appreciate that point. Wow. That's an area I don't want to go. You know this fish farming training. You attend seminar. The guy who taught you fish breeding, the guy doesn't have one fish pond. The guy injects fish right in your presence, but you won't be there when the fish will hatch to know whether what he did is right or wrong. So what he's saying is, if you are training people, at least develop your own capacity and become an authority. Let me just use this as an example. Reverend organizes Ministers Engage. Why do pastors come? Because he is worth listening to. Ladies and gentlemen, if I organize Ministers Engage, I will engage the ministers. You will come. You won't come. You won't come. So what I'm trying to say is that I have not built that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So build your brand. So for instance, now people ask me to come and do a Greek training for them. Not because I said I'm doing a Greek training, but because they feel that there's something they can learn from me. So what this person needs to, so there are two ways I'll tackle it. I agree with this 100%, and then I will say this. There's something called Pareto principle. If you reach 100 people and 15 respond, if you want 100 people, reach 1,000 people. You get your tempo. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So increase your reach. You understand? You get more people. That's the way. So once you've observed that's the percentage, that means your reach has to increase. Okay? And then add this dimension to it. And this, you see, the problem with this, sir, is that it takes time. And my help us want to be life coach. But before you become a life coach, you must become an authority to coach. Okay? So let me ask this one. Any other question? We have a few minutes left. How can I build a structure? This is interesting. Without hiring staff. I run a fashion business. Anti-fashion. Please help us. Fashion tier. How do I build a structure without hiring staff?
Okay. Sometimes we don't always have to do everything. Number one, I think we can outsource. If you are running a particular business and then you have to do the process is A, B, C, D, E. I'm sure there are some people that can do D and E for you, and you pay them while you start A and B, or do C and D. You can start with that before we can employ staff. Then, is it only in the process or in... Okay, then when it comes to money, there are so many interesting things we can do, fintech nowadays, very interesting, that makes our business run better. I just discovered some, before, people like Pastor Ron, they probably put it on an Excel sheet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for some of us that are not like that, and we don't like accounting, I want to run a business, and I want to know that this business is profitable. How do I go about it? So I'm going to take an example of give me an example. A business, any business. Fashion design, okay, fine. Fashion. I didn't want to take it because I'm a fashion designer, but you said fashion design. Okay, so I want to make a dress. How much do they make Ankara skirt and blouse these days? Anybody? Okay. Give me an average. 5,000. Okay, Sean said 5,000. Okay, so let's assume 5,000. I'm going to buy materials, right? For lining and stay and all that stuff. So how much is the material I'm going to buy? Let's assume 2,000. Okay? Now, I'm going to work and then maybe the finishing. For example, if you don't have structure, you can outsource the finishing to somebody and pay. The mistake we make most times is that I made that mistake. I used to make it. We want to finish everything by ourselves. It doesn't make any sense. You can't meet up. If you outsource it, you start on other things, and then you can meet up with your deadline, and then you have customer satisfaction. Okay, that's aside. Okay, so 2,000, right? Now, let's say, I believe that everybody knows that even if you are working in your house, you have to budget your rent,
yes,
your machine depreciation, with what you are doing. So let's remove all that to cut the long story short. And then at the end of the day, I have 1,200 naira left. That, okay, after all has been said and done, I have 1,200 naira left. So in a week, if I sold 3 skirts and blouse, that's 15,000, right? It looks as if there's a lot of money entering my account, but I just made 3,600 naira. Yes.
High cash flow, low profit. It's a high cash flow, low profit. So
now, before we talk about how profitable this is, out of that 1,000, what I will do as a small business is that have you heard of Piggy Vest before? I'm not advertising for them. Have you heard of Curry White before? Good. I will take half of whatever it is that is left. It goes into Piggy Vest. That's what I will do. The remaining half, I'll split it into 3. I'll pay myself. I'll put 1/3 in the business. And then, of course, the 1/3 I'll assume it for the other staff or for finishing. Now, I'll now ask myself, at the end of 6 months, that half that I've been putting aside, is it enough to do anything tangible to put back into my business at the end of 6 months? These are ways to determine if what we are doing is profitable or not.
Do you know that, sorry for cutting you, that there's a difference between an entrepreneur and a technician? A technician is the person who does the technical thing. An entrepreneur is the person who can make business out of technicality. If people want to make clothes, you don't have to make it. Spot good tailors, you have the knowledge. Take the job, give them your own price. Give it to the tailor. Insist on your own standard. Make a difference. Don't kill yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're a businessman. Do you know people produce stuff in China? They have an office in the US. Everything that is produced in China. They're not the ones making it, but their name is on it. Do you understand? So, and at the end of the day, they will tell you our factory in China. Is it not his factory? Is he lying? It's his factory. Even though it's an outsourced factory, it's not, you understand? They are not 100% his staff, but it's still our factory. So, one of the problems with Nigerians is that we want to own everything. There's no partnership. There's no synergy. So, like what she said, you can specialize on cutting and joining. Somebody else does finishing and packaging. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Anyway, no time.
Then, sorry, can I quickly add?
Yes.
Aside from that, we like to work alone.
Yes.
There's always, when you are starting, there's always a reason to work in a group. You have people that you can rely on. Sometimes you cannot meet up, not because you are lazy, but because you miscalculated. There should be people that you can fall back on, that will say, okay, do this. And this is also built on relationship. People that will say, okay, bring it, I'll take just a token. Let me quickly help you finish it. And when those people are in trouble too, the other way around. But you see, we like to isolate ourselves. We feel like, no, you are bringing job to me. It's the exact amount that I'm charging other people that I will charge you. We're supposed to try to put ourselves in a group, help each other. There are 2 people here that I work with on a regular basis. So we shouldn't, that way we won't grow. Because eventually we discover that others have gone and we are an island on ourselves.
Thank you. Let me quickly take this one. Brother Jerry, please do this one very quickly. How do you handle customers who lie or give negative comments about your service or your product just to avoid paying up or getting undue compensation?
Instagram business. How do you handle customers who lie?
Yes.
And most likely maybe even go and comment on your page. And just because they don't want to pay up. I think, of course, after you have stated your truth, there's little or nothing you can do. Keep doing what you know is right. And eventually, your truth will prevail.
Yeah. So you have a reputation eventually that people will be able to stand and say, we're sure.
Yeah, eventually, yes. The truth will always prevail. No matter how much lies go on about you. Except those lies are actually true. Once you keep doing what you do it right. That customer that doesn't want to pay, there is hardly anything you can do to collect from that customer. Bone him and move on. Even if that customer was the one that was going to pay your rent with what you are going to get from the customer, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Thank you.
I want to add something to that one. Don't mind anybody running you down because he doesn't want not to pay or he has anything to, he's hiding anything in his mind. Make sure you give opportunity for anybody that likes you or that appreciates your business to give comments, witness, say something. Then allow them to rate you. If the number of the people that rate you surpass the number of the people that want to run you down, you will definitely have your way. So don't reply them. That's the most important thing. If you want to waste your time, reply them. And they have the word that they say that will crush you.
Yeah.
They already plan to bring you down. Don't reply them. So just give opportunity to people that will give witness about your product. So that is answer not a fool in his folly.
Exactly. Lest you be like him. Yeah. Fantastic. All right, let's take 1 or 2 more. There's a question with Mr. Bello.
What's the best way to manage managers in a consulting business? Leadership is by example. You want them to resume at 8 o'clock, be there at 7:30.
Fantastic.
You want them to deliver to you, you deliver yourself. Let them see what you are capable of doing. If you just want to reel out instructions without you being a part of the process, it will be impossible for people to toe your line.
Fantastic. Wow. Okay, I like this one again. Please, so after this I take one more. Please, how do I win back a customer? How do I win back a customer I have messed up their product? So this person has messed up a customer's product, has disappointed the customer, but the person is trying to win back the customer. Do
it again for free.
Okay.
As in, there's absolutely no. As in, that's just the trick to it.
Just do it for free.
Do that same thing or something better for free. You messed it up. Pay the price.
Wow. So sorry is not enough. You know, one day somebody did something. How can I say this? People say, but I've said sorry. I said, okay, you spoiled something. It will cost me 15,000. You said sorry. Okay, sorry. Can sorry fix the 15,000? If you want me to show me that you are sorry, fix it. When you fix it, then I will know that you are sorry.
Sir, I want to add something to that. You know, there are some customers that are passive.
Yeah.
They don't give comments. They just collect the product, whether it is good or bad, they go. And they will not come back again. There are some customers that can talk. Those ones can bully you. You know, some customers do bully. Well, take it, but try to explain. You must make sure you study your customer. That's one thing. Because if you mess up, you may not know that you have messed up, really. So study them very well. Check their countenance. Make sure you find a way of asking them questions about the product you are producing. Otherwise, you won't know the time the good ones that are ready to pay will leave you.
Fantastic. Okay, last but not the least, it was mentioned during Pastor Ron's talk, he mentioned that we should solve a real problem. if your business is entertainment related, how do you strategically go about growing and not just waiting to blow?
Well, entertainment is a bit of a very wonderful terrain in the sense that it is many times eventually we will discover that it's not about the craft or the quality of what the person is doing. It's about visibility, how much conversation is going on about you. And the challenge we Christians have is we want to blow like Davido. And we are of two different worlds. And the number of Davido fans is not equal to the number of Christian fans. You have to realize that, starting as a fact. So your definition of blowing has to, first of all, be redefined. When you redefine what success really is, especially when it has to do with Christian entertainment or entertainment as a Christian, most likely impact is one of the things you can use as a measure. How many people are being transformed by the content of what I'm putting out? So you cannot rate yourself the way the world rates success. So you have to first of all define what success is to you. When that is defined, be consistent. Be consistent. Just keep doing what you're doing, improving on yourself. Somewhere, somehow, somebody that has the strength to pick you up will eventually pick you up. Your craft will show. And have your conversation with God about this. Because honestly, you will not have peace of mind if you keep thinking, there's a level I'm supposed to attain and I've not achieved it and I'm 30 years inside the industry. Yeah. That's because if you don't have a conversation with God about it, you will just keep thinking what God doesn't think about you. You might have impacted people and God has actually even said, you know what, move from entertainment into something else. And you are wasting your time on entertainment.
So you have to know when to evolve. Yes, sir.
Number one, I think the way I would see it, I agree with them, is you have to do something different. I want to answer your question using ShopRite and bread as an example. We all know that ShopRite came a few years ago. And I think the bakery section came about a year thereafter. No, the bread section came about a year thereafter after they opened shop. The first question you need to ask yourself is, how many people were making bread before ShopRite? So what happened to all of them? Do you know most of them have closed down? I have a friend that invested about 18 million in equipment, in bread. He has shut down. What they now make is cakes. But do you know today, every day from just 2 outlets, they don't market. People actually walk in to go and buy there. ShopRite sells between 7 and 8 million naira worth of bread every day. They made something different. You have to do something different that will attract people if you want to make a difference in a competitive world. If what you do, I have a problem. Everything that must be associated with me must be excellence. That's what people pay for. If you are not excellent at it, nobody will come your way. So you have to do something different excellently. Praise the Lord.
Wow, can we celebrate our panelists this evening?